In this week's video, I will show you how I set up a spare extruder for my SV06 Plus with a hardened steel 0.6mm nozzle. This allows me to quickly switch between the stock 0.4 nozzle and the larger one when I need to print something bigger and faster. I ordered the separate extruder and a set of 6 hardened volcano-style nozzles directly from Sovol, China. It took a little over a month for them to arrive, which was within my expectations actually. The set includes 2 hardened 0.4 nozzles, 2 0.6 nozzles, and 1 each of 0.8 and 1mm nozzles. I plan to test the later two in another video sometimes in the future. I thought it was a good idea to get a spare extruder, not only to eliminate any potential downtime in case of breakage or wear, but also to have the option of setting it up with a different nozzle for quick and easy switching. This way taking full advantage of the genius modular extruder system of the SV06 and SV06 Plus. Before removing the extruder, I took off the PEI sheet and placed some paper to cover the magnetic surface of the bed. As you can see, I already upgraded the part cooling fan to prepare for the larger nozzle. You will find the links to the fan duct and the bracket models I used with the stronger 5015 blower, which attaches independently to the back of the sliding carriage, separate from the replaceable extruder. Another amazing advantage of this modular extruder is how we can keep the ribbon cable attached and heat up the extruder in a much more accessible orientation. Of course, I removed the heating block sock before heating up the nozzle to 240 Celsius. I actually recommend setting the nozzle temperature even higher. As you can see, it took a little too much force to loosen the nozzle by turning it counterclockwise while holding the heating block with a size 13 wrench. Even though I was careful not to crush the thermistor cables in the upper part of the heating block, I still got a little scared due to the need for extra force. But fortunately, nothing broke. So I installed one of the 0.6mm nozzles. Do you think I should have done it at a higher temperature? Please let me know in the comments. The maximum temperature I will need is for PETG, which shouldn't go beyond 240 degrees. So I let the extruder cool, reinstalled the silicone sock, and mounted the extruder back to its place. With this, the hardware change is actually complete, but we need to configure the software as well. First, I took note of the PID and Z offset values of the old nozzle and the E steps of the original extruder. Remember, I will be able to quickly attach my other extruder with the other nozzle, so I will be able to just re-enter these values. But I needed to find out the new values for the new set. I found no menu item to initiate PID calibration, so I copied this simple G-code script to the SD card and executed it on the printer. Since I print between 200 and 240 degrees, I set 220 Celsius for the autotuner. The 8 cycles took about 3 minutes to complete, after which I cooled the nozzle manually. I also took note of the new PID values. Now I keep this little piece of paper next to the spare extruder with all the values I need to change when switching between the 0.4 and 0.6 nozzles. Before we get to test everything and before I show you the necessary changes in the slicer, it is very important to redo the Z offset calibration and auto leveling. Neither of these is hard to do on the SV06 Plus, of course. Notice how I did these steps on the back side of the PI sheet to avoid scratching it with the nozzle in case something goes wrong. I've also performed E-step calibration for the new extruder, and I will demonstrate it in a separate video. Don't forget to subscribe so you can be notified when I post that video as well as other useful videos in the future. Giving a thumbs up will also help others to discover these videos. All complete, I was ready to print the very first item, a LED light strip mount for this new extruder. There are a few settings we need to change in Cura for the bigger nozzle though. I made copies of the start and end G-codes and added a second instance of the SV06 Plus where I used these. And I changed the nozzle size under machine settings in the extruder section. I was able to reuse my original PLA and PETG profiles, but I changed the layer height to 0.3, which could go even higher in case I need it. The line width should also match the new nozzle, and it could also go higher, especially in vase mode. I also updated the wall and top-bottom skin sizes, increased the nozzle temperature, and increased cooling slightly. With the bigger nozzle, the LED mount only took about 6 minutes to print, and the quality turned out to be perfectly sufficient for the purpose. As the next little project, I printed the latest addition to my dust cover system, which I will also provide a link to in the description below. Another surprisingly quick job. This finished printing in just 22 minutes. All in all, I'm very happy with today's upgrade. If you own one or more Sovol SV06 or SV06 Plus machines, I highly recommend taking advantage of the modular extruder system by setting up a spare extruder with an alternative nozzle size. Let me know in the comments if you have already done something similar or if you plan to do so.